The impulse to travel is one of the hopeful symptoms of life. For me, on holiday, nothing tastes better than a fresh glass of Prosecco and then a long night of more Prosecco. And I don't think it's a shock to say that most of us fucking love to travel, okay? But can I be real with you for a second? That shit's kind of pricey. We go on these trips, we spend our savings, so we need to make sure that we have the best time ever. For me, it is the small things that you don't realize that really impact your trip. And it is that impulse to travel that will absolutely make us forget about these key, minute details that we need to know. And I don't want this to happen to you, so grab yourself a pre-flight Prosecco because these points are about to take off. Before you even go on your trip, there are so many things you can do just in the prep. So this tip number 1 is what I have dubbed what's in the box, or in this instance bag, and this tackles one of these key prep areas. So in this process, you need to lock the fuck in. Lock the fuck in. I traveled on a 7-day trip with my best friend to Madeira, and I only took a little backpack, okay? And I'm not like, that was hand luggage to the smallest scale. I'm talking no overhead hand luggage for 7 days. It was an incredibly stressful process. And there's loads of ways you can go about packing, okay? I've heard the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, the Sudoku packing method, packing cubes. There are a lot of hacks that help with fitting a lot in a small space. And for me personally, I find the best way to pack is to pick out what shoes I'm gonna wear and the jacket that's gonna go with those shoes. And that is probably gonna be the base of most outfits, because if it is the coldest temperature on that day, I am gonna be wearing one of those pairs of shoes and that jacket for sure. So every single underneath outfit needs to match with those shoes and with that jacket, because if they don't, I will look like a hot mess. Well, not so hot mess. And I always take pictures of all of the outfit variations I have, and everything goes with that jacket, everything goes with the couple of pairs of shoes I've picked out. You just need to also have 1 pair of activewear, 1 bikini. Life is good. But if you are stressed that you are gonna absolutely overpack no matter what, because you're a little thrift fiend like me, then what you need is point number 2, a DLS, baby. A DLS is a digital luggage scale, and I took one of these puppies with me to Calgary in Canada. It saved me and Ethan, my boyfriend, on our return flight because we had 2 big suitcases that were packed full. I weighed both of them, and we were way overweight. And it will save you from a 20 quid fine. It's literally a little electric scale part with a tiny little hook on it, and you hook it under your suitcase strap, lift it up, and it weighs it for you. It costs like £5 or $7 USD. It will save you on the way out there because you will weigh your stuff before you leave and potentially rethink what you bring. And it will also save you on the way back because the 6 vintage heavyweight jackets, I don't think are gonna quite get through, and you may have to do a sextuple jacket layer situation. Don't go chasing waterfalls without a map. Did you know you can download huge portions of Google Maps so they are fully available offline? Because I didn't. I went on the most stunning hike in Canada, in Revelstoke, up to a lake called Eva Lake. It was the most beautiful hike ever. We were coming back and we were all happy listening to music, and then we realized We had no idea where the fuck we were. And the sun was starting to set, so panic was starting to set in. We didn't bring like any food with us. We had one granola bar. I was also on my period, having forgotten to bring tampons with me. So all in all, was a really bad time to be lost. Not that there's ever a good time to be lost, but this didn't feel good. And only until after we had got back to the car did we find out on Google Maps you can literally download that whole section of a map. But it's super easy, and I will show you how to do it. And I don't even know how to do it, but we're gonna figure this out together because I need to remember how to do it. So, for the purpose of this example, I've picked the entire country of Malta. Basically, search for the location you want to download, scroll to the right, find the button that says more, and it says download offline map. You hit download, and that whole island map is downloading. And if I go to Malta, sorted, babe. Sorted. And whilst your map downloads, here's another thing that you can do. Check for time zones. It would be incredibly wise to think about important travel days when you need to catch a flight, a train, any form of transport, or if you have a particularly rigid booking time for some sort of day tour. Think about if you are going to be crossing any sort of time zone on the way there, or think about if that booking time is actually in your local time zone and it hasn't converted. Because sometimes you might gain an hour, which is great. You have a whole extra hour to be ready and chill, but sometimes you might lose an hour. Because this happened to me. Whilst I was driving to Lake Louise, I didn't know that I was gonna be crossing a time zone, okay? And Lake Louise famously does not have a lot of parking, so you need to be at the park and ride center for the time you book it for, which meant my friend who had planned on getting changed when we got there had to instead run with all of us to the park and ride bus. So we did a really long, steep, scrambling hike, and they were wearing double denim and lace-up leather loafers, and they may have been incredibly fashionable and stylish in our pictures at the peak, but it was not safe. So just pop it in your calendar. It's so easy. Put it in, set a little note in that calendar saying, hey, by the way, you're gonna drive across a time zone change. Tip number 5 is the rules of the road differ everywhere. When I went to visit Nevada last year, it was my first time driving in the US as a whole. The rules of the road differ from state to state. In some states you can turn right at a traffic light, in some states you can't. And it really differed for me because I'm from the UK. I can't turn right at a traffic light. I have to wait for that thing to go green. So it is so important you don't assume every place you go to, the driving situation is the same as where you're from. So here are some really weird and wacky rules of the road from around the world that I have curated to really hammer home my point. In Japan, you will be fined for splashing pedestrians. In Denmark, you need to look underneath your car for children hiding there. In Spain, if you wear glasses, you must have a second pair of glasses in your car or you'll get fined 200 euros. In Maine, in the US, it is illegal to park in front of a Dunkin' Donuts. In France, you need to have a high-vis jacket per passenger and a little tiny warning triangle, and you will be fined a certain amount for every single missing item. And obviously some of these are completely ridiculous and probably are never gonna even matter to you, but it just goes to show that some of even the most basic things are different depending on where you are. So now, my queens, you are prepped and ready to go, hit the open road, travel, see wherever you're dreaming of seeing. This next one I have deemed the dirt road. So everyone these days identifies themselves as a type A or a type B person. Type A people are driven, ambitious, and prefer controlled and rigorous planning. Type B people are more relaxed and patient and kind of go with the flow. An entirely type A holiday would be planned to perfection. I'm talking every place to place set. Every travel option pre-purchased. They will be on the ground ready to lace your shoe when they expect it's gonna come undone. And an entirely type B holiday will have you chilled out, shown up to the airport, 30 minutes to spare, baby, we got time. Oh no, we can go and get that little hamburger because I'm hungry. Yeah, the bus is leaving in a minute, I'll be fine. For me personally, a good trip is a mix of both attitudes. Like, we've got to see key places, you know, you go to Paris, you've got to see the Eiffel Tower. I get it. But when you're in Paris, everyone's gonna be at the Eiffel Tower. But whilst you're on your way to the Eiffel Tower, okay, maybe you're going down the main street, walking along with everyone, and then in the corner of your eye, you spot a dirty, decrepit-looking, hideous, disgusting dirt road. And you notice that little disgusting-looking dirt road is gonna wind its way over to the Eiffel Tower too. And taking this dirt road may or may not pay off, okay? But either way, it's gonna lead to the place that you wanna go, and maybe, just maybe, you're gonna get lucky as shit and find a super cool hidden gem vintage shop that you go in and holy fucking shit, there's this Chanel jacket from, I don't know, 1999 that you have been dreaming of, and oh my god, it has the matching shoes, and oh my god, it's in the spring sale. So aren't you glad you went down the dirt road? This happened to me first time when I was with Ethan and we wanted to visit the Redwoods in California. And on our way there, we drove past a frisbee golf area. I'd never done frisbee golf before, neither had he. And we went and stopped there. We walked in and it was something, and it became my absolute favorite memory of that entire trip. It was so warm, so beautiful, and we just genuinely had the best time. So trust me, even if something looks a little bit, you know, shabby chic on the outside, give it a go and you actually might have the best time ever and be grateful for the dirt road. So now you're traveling away down the dirt road, you know, you're like so mysterious, going down the path lesser traveled, but you come across a gift shop and you go in. And this is where my next tip comes in clutch. It is called Know Thine Origin Story. Because too often have I gone into a gift shop and looked at the magnets and the key rings and the hats, and they all say the location of the place on it, and they're all cutesy, and then you look a little bit closer, and you see it says that it wasn't even made in that country. And if you really want to buy one of these items, like, I'm not going to stop you. If it makes you happy, you spend your money how you want. But I really recommend looking into wherever you're going to travel to, look into what their like speciality crafts are and what they're known for. For example, when I was recently in Faro in Portugal, I, for some reason, saw somewhere that they are known for making high quality cork goods. You would go around and you would see the most beautiful handcrafted cork bags and cork coasters and key rings. It was genuinely amazing how many cork-related items you could buy. But to show you the versatility of what every country has to offer, I'm gonna tell you some quick specialty crafts and things that certain countries are known for. Spain is one of the largest producers of olive oil and also the curator of the Abanicos fans. France is known for their lace making and their fine leather goods. India is known for their hand-woven silks and delicate embroidery. Mexico is known for their beautiful hand-painted Talavera pottery. And England is known for, Gordon Ramsay. Who else? Ed Sheeran. Mashed potato? I don't think so. Putting gravy on everything. And England is known for, stealing. That's not even an extensive list of what all of these wonderful places are known for. They're known for so many more things. So look into it, do some research. Let's be real here. We want to support small businesses, beautiful crafts, and the local country and people. So you want to be able to afford these lovely gifts that you want to treat yourself with. And this is where my next tip comes in. It's called treat yourself before you eat yourself, okay? It's not the best name. But the tip basically is that you don't need to eat out for every single meal. This is how I cut costs on holiday. I will go out for a meal maximum once a day, and I will cut the extra cost by going to the supermarket and buying lovely goods at the supermarket to cook something myself. And I did this to cut costs on a girls' trip to Dubrovnik in Croatia, and there were 2 big long day trips that we really wanted to do, which were pretty expensive things. But we booked these trips, and on the day trips, we ate out for lunch, and that was a great opportunity to experience the local cuisines, and we were going to places that we weren't likely to go back to again, so it felt like the best time to have a meal out. And so then when we returned home from the trip, we had already bought all of the ingredients that we needed to cook a really nice, really simple, really cheap dinner. But obviously, you know, if you're a total foodie, you know, you love trying local cuisines, you love trying everything you can, and there's other ways you can cut costs on food and still go to as many kind of eating out spots as you can. And this is where you basically just need to look for your lesser known restaurants, because usually in the top 10 restaurants for that place, they're gonna be the most expensive. Prices are gonna have peaked for all of those ones. So go to the smaller ones. Go to these little local family-owned businesses that not as many people are talking about, and you will get absolutely amazing food, no doubt, for most likely half the cost. But to just reiterate before, supermarkets are your friend. Isn't it just an absolute wondrous time to be prancing through a supermarket that you don't know and seeing all these weird, wacky, wonderful things on the shelves and being like, damn, I fucking wish we had that back home. I wish we had that. I want to try that. It is an important experience of every holiday. So do it. And my final tip for you is tip number 9, which is to remember whose home it is. I'm gonna take you on a journey. Hold my hand. Think about this. Okay, go into your mind palace and really visualize with me, okay? Imagine somebody has come through your door and walked in and found your lovely Stanley cups out there. They've picked it up and they've backwashed straight into your Stanley Cup and you have no idea about it. And then they put your Stanley Cup down, they walk into the bathroom, they find your toothbrush sat there, pick it up, brush their skanky tongue with it, and then they go into your bedroom and think, damn, my toenails are looking pretty long, and they start clipping their toenails all over your bed. A tad dramatic, but you wouldn't be happy about it. This may seem like overkill, but this is the kind of stuff that I think about whenever I'm on holiday. I went on this lovely trip to this Airbnb down the south by the coast in the UK, and I was staying with Ethan in this really sweet old couple's like cabin in their garden, and they were so sweet to us and so kind to us. You owe it to them to do the same and treat these things the way that you would want your own things to be treated. Someone's gonna have to go in after you're finished and clean up after you. So treat it with some respect. I just think it is so self-centered to think that it is not your problem. Traveling is an absolute privilege, so it is our mission to do it right. But every point on this list will hopefully improve your experience to some degree. Take them, hone them, and master them, and comment down below any more for everyone to learn. Because if each of us who travel and have a better experience and practice better travel practices, it will improve the lives of the locals, it will give a better experience to all the people that you're with, it will enrich the culture. And when you're back at your shitty 9 to 5 that you hate so much, it will bring a much bigger smile to your face when you look back on them. So peace out, I love you, and don't do any DB Cooper shit, okay? Bye!